Hi guys, welcome. I am Dr. Neva and thanks for taking your time out and listen to what I have to say. So I've been to a few different conferences, events, and whenever I go to speak, I usually promote my book, right? So there are two different genres or different types of books that I've written. One on leadership, two on leadership, but in that category, and then entrepreneurship. But what I found that people were more attracted to wasn't really my book, but how to write their own book, because I feel like everyone has a story that they want to share. They think you say that you're watching me. You are here because you're thinking about writing your own book, right? So how can I put everything together to bring it to the world? Because you want that story, your thoughts, your whatever you've been through, your lessons, whether it's been in business, health, whatever, you want individuals out there to pick up, read a copy of your book. But where do you start? The first thing that I'll say to you guys, and I'm going to give you a little glimpse at some things that you need to do when you're putting your book together. But if you really want to know more, we're going to be having a 1-hour webinar on September 27th, and the link will be below. All right, so you can sign up. It's free. Now, the first thing you have to do, you have to have a great idea. Why will anyone want to buy your book? What's the purpose of anyone to read your book? What is something different you're going to bring? Yes, your experience is different. That is great. But what is that great idea? The second is, what type of book are you going to write? Is it going to be a business book? Is it going to be educational? Is it where you're telling your, personal development? What type of book are you going to write, right? So you have to think about this, right? That's just to get started, getting into the thought of developing the book idea. The next is outlining your story, right? You're just gonna, whether you're typing or write it down, you outline your story. And these are some of the things that we actually discuss in our actual workshop that we have. I'm not talking about the webinar, but in our actual workshop, creating that outline. You really need to get your sentence together. If you think about a great speaker, and I'm putting speaker into perspective, like you're drawn in by the first few words that they have to say, right? So when you write that book, you want that person to go, oh, I need to keep going. I need to really hear what this person has to say in this book. So you gotta create that hook. You have to now, when you create your draft, you have to create a schedule. The thing is, there are people out there, you probably watching this, you want to write your book. But when do you write your book? You have to be dedicated, just like anything else. It's your baby. You're going to give birth to it. You're going to have to spend time to nourish it. What time are you going to dedicate to your book? How many chapters are you going to write in a week or a month or a year, right? Be realistic, because of course, if you have other things going on, what time frame do you have? There are authors out there, pretty much when they know they are going to write, they literally lock themselves in maybe for a weekend or a week, go somewhere, travel, just to put their thoughts together. So I'm not saying for you to do the same thing, but you have to create that atmosphere where you have to write. Now with this, you have to research. I can't tell you how many, there are times when I read books, for me anyway, when I read books and it's non-fictional and there's nothing of substance, there's nothing, bringing facts to the table, things that you have actually researched, bring the book to life. And even if it's non-fictional, when you do research, trust, that book becomes even more powerful, right? So you have to do your research. And then with all this being said, and there are more steps, process, but these are the key things that I'm just kind of, putting out there for you to think about. Now you've done your research, you're putting the book together, a time frame, how you're going to do this. You publish it, because you can self-publish, or you can find a publishing house. The publishing house, that's a whole different conversation, because publishing company want books that they believe people want. So a lot of authors these days, they're opting more to just self-publish to get the books out there. There are different platforms to get your book published, such as Amazon, and you have to see if the rate that they give is good for you, or you just self-publish and you put it out there. But before you bring that book out, you have to make sure you proofread it. Make sure it is edited correctly. For me, I really believe in having maybe 2 different, if you have a great editing company, well, of course they can do it. But if you do it where you read it, then you have someone else read it, have someone else again read that book, right? So these are some of the things. And then when you, of course, after you edit, you make sure it's fine, you publish it, right? And then the next final, if you're going to self-publish, market that book. And that, again, marketing is not just everything online marketing the book, but here you may have to go out there and speak and let people know this great book that you have, your great thoughts, and how it's going to change and impact their lives. So guys, again, we have a free webinar. We're going to have it on September 27th. We're going to have other webinars depending on how this one really panned out. But September 27th, you could come. You're going to hear myself. I have another colleague going to be on the webinar with me. Her name is Keisha Stewart, and she deals more with the editing and the content side. I'm more on the business side, and we work together on our upcoming workshops that we will start within the company, and that's going to be October. If you just want to come out to get some basic information, that's going to be on the 27th of September 2022. All right, and that is it for today. You know how to reach us. Please comment below. Please click on the link to the webinar. And until next time, bye.